Hello everybody. So I am very excited to talk to you about today's session. So my name is Yash Varma and I am a BTech student from Sundardeep Engineering College. I am a MERN stack developer and a web dev lead at my coding club Hacker World. So let's start from today's session. GitHub Copilot for TypeScript. So let's start. What's our today's agenda? So first we will get to know the introduction of GitHub Copilot. What do you mean by GitHub Copilot? If you will get to know from the past, you have used some LLMs like ChatGPT, Gemini, AI. Now you can have your own personal AI assistant which can help you in coding. So let's start. Introduction to GitHub Copilot. Then we will dive into what TypeScript is. I will give you a brief overview of what TypeScript is, and I will also discuss the comparison between TypeScript and JavaScript. With that, I will also use GitHub Copilot with TypeScript so that you can have, if even if you have no idea about TypeScript, it will be a good session for you because I will assist you with GitHub Copilot and how you can use it. There are some of the use cases like smart code suggestion, error prevention, and fast development. And we will build up with some questions. So first we will dive into the introduction of GitHub Copilot. So GitHub Copilot is an AI powered code assistant. It is an AI powered code assistant for which there are several things it can do, and it is developed by Microsoft, GitHub, and OpenAI. So it will help you in the real time by suggesting codes as you type, and we will use VS Code for today now. There are key features. Code suggestion. Suppose you are writing a code of Fibonacci series and you are getting doubt in it. The GitHub Copilot will give you exact code of that. Context aware. Understand your project and language. Suppose I want to build something and I have no idea about how to get into the flow of that project, so I can use it. It will support many languages like JavaScript, Python, C++, and there's a lot of options right there. Why use GitHub Copilot? You can boost your productivity. You can speed up your coding by reducing repetitive tasks, and you can learn faster. It will help you to explore new coding pattern and libraries. Suppose I will tell you the incident that had happened me yesterday. I was doing some code over tic-tac-toe game. So I have no idea about that. I build it from scratch and then I use GitHub Copilot to get the best suggestion of what my code is like. Give me reviews over that. So you can use it like this too. And the error reduction, it will reduce your error. And by the way, the TypeScript is also a strict language, so it will also suggest you some of the ways to correct your syntax. So let's get into the GitHub Copilot via VS Code. The GitHub Copilot, what is the extension needed to use? So we have to install two extensions via VS Code, which is GitHub Copilot and GitHub Copilot Chat. Okay, so let's go into the extension section, and you just have to write GitHub Copilot. It will be here. You have to install it, right? And GitHub Copilot Chat. You have to install both of them and then link them with your GitHub ID. After that, let me make a use of it. Suppose I want to write something, right? So I want to write. How I can write? It is saying that press Ctrl plus I to ask GitHub Copilot to do something. I will type, press Ctrl plus I, and the bar shows up. I will say, give me the code of Fibonacci series. That's it. It will start generating and the code is here. You can even ask it specifically. Suppose I wanna point out to this and control plus I. What this code do? It will give me a brief overview of what this whole code step by step do. You get the point? This is the overview. Suppose I am not good in typing. So there are two ways it will autocomplete your code, and there are two ways to do the same thing. Suppose I wanna chat with is GitHub Copilot. So there are options like voice chat. How you can enable it? By default, you can't enable it. But if you will install one extension, VS Code Speech. Here is the extension. You can see. Here is this extension. You have to install this extension, and you can automatically use this now. How? Let me show you. So the same code, I will control plus I, and I go to this type. Now I will say give me the Fibonacci series code, and that's it. That's all what I have to do. You can see, you can get the overview of what the power of GitHub Copilot is. You can even use it in your projects. So you get to know how to establish the GitHub Copilot in your VS Code. You have to link it with your GitHub ID. So it should be there, right? Now we will get to know about what TypeScript is. Introduction to TypeScript. What do we mean by TypeScript? TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript. Suppose there is a big circle and it is TypeScript. Okay. So in that big circle, there is a small circle too, which is JavaScript. Maybe I am wrong. You can check it out. And it can add static typing. Suppose in the JavaScript you use var let const, but in the TypeScript you have to specify the type. I will show you how, and it will help you catching the error during compile time. In the JavaScript, it will be quite inefficient for you because the error are going to be run in the runtime. So when JavaScript get compiled, the code and the error will show up. But in TypeScript, you can see it statically. There are key features too. Suppose even static typing helps you to prevent runtime errors, as the runtime error goes in the JavaScript, right? It have better tooling, code hint and auto completion, and scalability. If you will come up with industry level projects, you can see that most of the time TypeScript is used in that projects, large and complex projects, right? There will be fewer errors because when you are running the code, it will, whenever you are typing something, it will show you error. That's the thing TypeScript will provide you, and it will help you write cleaner code because it is specific. The TypeScript code is strict and specific. That's why it will be a cleaner code for you, and better collaboration. You can collaborate with multiple teams and can maintain it, right? So let me start with the TypeScript. Okay, so let me start. So I will give you a brief overview. This is my, this is also in the GitHub, so you can also access it by my GitHub username Yash2204B. Okay, so this is the whole structure. You can get to know it. Let's dive into the ecosystem of what TypeScript is. I am not going to establish anything. I am just giving you the overview. So suppose you are new to TypeScript. Okay, I will come up with some example that you don't have to worry about. but you need to have a prerequisite that you know JavaScript. Okay, so I will give you a simple and basic example with some differences regarding TypeScript and JavaScript. Okay, you will know how to tackle doubts and error. Suppose you want to build something and you are building that from scratch. I am building a tic-tac-toe game. So how I will come up with that? And you don't have to do everything with TypeScript. You just have to let the suggestion be there. So I have established the environment, and whenever you are running a TypeScript code, you have to alternatively see the JavaScript code too. Okay, and with that I have also established something. This is doing real-time updation, and suppose I write here console log. Okay, this is GitHub Copilot, and it will give me this. So I don't have to compile this. I have to compile the JavaScript code. How I can compile it? Just the normal way, and this is here, right? That's the way how you can see. So let we come up with the questions I have here. I will simply copy paste them, or we can even read it. Nice. This is not gonna be here. I write a function called add numbers that takes two parameters a and b and return their sum. That's the normal thing. And GitHub Copilot already give me the whole auto completion of that thing I write. You get the point? And how it is written in the JavaScript, you can see clearly. You have mentioned the number in A, you have mentioned the number in B, and the whole thing which will return here, it is written now. How you can get to know it? Suppose I wanna give this 5. It will show me error. What error? Argument type strings is not accessible to the parameter of type number. So that's the first difference between JavaScript and TypeScript. You can't define, you have to define the type of whatever variable you are using. So I have to define this in a specific manner, 3 and 4, and there is no error, right? It is also same, and now I can compile it. Where it is? Nice, I have not consoled it, right? That's why. Now it will be here 7. You get the point? That's the first difference between TypeScript and JavaScript. You have to define, and even if I write like this, where a is equal to 3, I have to define the number. I have to define the type here. Is there any fault? I have to define this here. I have to define this here. Let me check it by GitHub Copilot. Is my syntax correct or not? I am telling you how you can debug your code, how you can make suggestion, how you can see. The syntax of declaring of variable is correct, but you need to implement a number. Nah, that's not really necessary. I am just telling you this, how you can define it. It can be anything. B suppose, or B is a boolean. Now I will define true. Suppose my is a string. I will define hello. Right? That's how it all goes. And in the JavaScript part, it is same. So you get to know the first example, the first question I have come up with. Now let's see the limitation of JavaScript here. There is no way to enforce parameter type. right? But in TypeScript, you can define the parameter type. If add number is there, is called 3 is a string, it will concatenate with 3 as the string instead of adding the number, potentially leading to unexpected behavior. If I will do the same thing in JavaScript, it will concatenate. It will give me 23. So it's gonna be an unexpected behavior, right? But in TypeScript, you have that advantage that it allows you to declare the parameter and return type. This prevents you from unattended value. Can I take a break? A small break. You have this example, you get to know about it, right? Now let me see how to enforce the object structure with interfaces. This is the whole thing I am doing with the help of GitHub Copilot. There is no cheating. Even this whole code I have written with the help of GitHub Copilot. You can do the you can do the same. I have to do Control plus I and just copy paste the whole question, and tana, you will have the whole code. You get the point? And why is it used? Why we use interfaces? Suppose you want to define your whole object, and the attributes, the keys will be here, and there will be no change. Suppose I want to add address here, it will show me error. It will show me error that the object literal may only specify non properties and address does not exist in type person. This whole person object is have a type, so I can even define the types in that whole object, that whatever I wanna write, suppose I don't wanna write age, so it will also show me error. I have to define whatever I have declared in the interface. Okay, so suppose age can be there or maybe not, so I will use question mark, age question mark, so there will be no error. There are some of the things that you have to note down, but in the JavaScript part you can't do that, right? You have to declare it. I think that's the power of JavaScript, and if I will compile it, that's the power of TypeScript. Sorry. This is the whole object. You get to know about TypeScript and JavaScript. So suppose I have no idea about this. I wanna come up with what it exactly is. What it exactly is. Tell me more about it. Tell me more about it. In a one line. We are lazy programmers, right? So we need something in a short manner. The person interface in TypeScript define the structure for object. Structure for object. So interfaces define the structure of whole object, and you must have name and the age attributes, properties. So you get to know about it. So let me see now. We have created this. In JavaScript, there is no guarantee that the object has a required property. A typo or missing property won't throw an error until runtime, and which can lead to unexpected issues. Means if you have any issue in making an object, if the keys are not really exactly what you need, there will be no error, but you will see the error in the runtime. But in the TypeScript, you can define the expected structure of the object. If the person object is missing a property and have incorrect types, the TypeScript will throw an error in the compile time. So this is the whole example of it. That's it. And enforcing the array types. So there is a whole description. Create a array called scores that should only contain numbers. Use TypeScript to ensure all numbers are scores. Let me see. Erase it whole and just have to do Control plus I and copy paste it. So this is the whole thing. Suppose I have no idea about it. I am coming up with these type of array. The whole thing goes. Wow. So I can even define whether the score should be number or not. The whole array is numbers, right? I can even define it as string. So it will be a array of string A, B, C, D, E. That's it. I can even define the type in array, in variable, in object. Right? I have told you about type, not the whole another concept, complex concept. I am just giving you a overview of how you can come up with GitHub Copilot for TypeScript, right? And if I will simply do this, it will show me this, right? You get the point? So that's the flow. In JavaScript, you can have mixed type in an array. In JavaScript, you can even have something like this. In the whole string, you can have this. You can even have a function here, anonymous function. You can have that. So it will be a quite messy code, right? So TypeScript also give us the chance to get the strict type in the array. This prevent accidental mixing types, making a code safer. So we get the point, right? So I have told you about TypeScript. That's a whole new thing for you maybe. Wait a second. We have coded, we have got to know. So what's the conclusion of this? TypeScript enhance the JavaScript by adding static types. You get to know what static types is. Whatever you are giving in the type in the variable, that's the static type, and improving your code quality and reducing error, making it perfect for larger and scalable projects. And we have come up with the AI powered assistant GitHub Copilot, which speed up the coding by providing real time suggestion, and also it makes developer code more faster. If I will come up with, I have no idea about coding in 2011, I have to write the code from scratch. But in today's world, in the world of AI, you can use these AI powered assistant which will assist you by giving you suggestion. If you have write the whole code, it will give you suggestion over what's the problem, how I can solve it, how I can come up with more innovative and scalable solution. And that's why we use it. In the nutshell, we get to know how to combine the power of TypeScript and the GitHub Copilot to create a robust and error-free application with speed and confidence. That's it from my side. Thank you.